Hello, fellow cheesers, to my 4,000 subscriber plus Valentine's special video. And today, in this video, we will be making the hemobars from Limbus Company. Or at least best as I can. So first off, we're gonna get a whole bunch of strawberries, chop them up into little cubes or small shapes. Doesn't have to be too exact. And then we're gonna mix in some sugar and some flour to make sure that when we do put the strawberries in, the strawberries don't sink and they actually stay where they're supposed to in the batter. So while I'm doing this, let's talk about what a hemobar exactly is. If we look in the game cutscene, can't do 7 spoilers, I know, we can see that Don Quixote, the Blood Fiend, the First Kindred, and Nicolina, my goat, apart from Sancho, created these hemobars out of coagulated blood in order to give Blood Fiends nutrients, all they need to survive, instead of eating human blood. So, as we can see, it's like a brick-like appearance with a pastel taste. And so what I have to work with is, it has to be looking like a brick of blood and taste like pastels. Yeah, not really too ideal, I'm gonna be real with you. So instead, I was gonna make brownies, but this is more like a cake. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add about 1 cup of sugar, because as a human and not a blood fiend, I love eating sugar. And then we're gonna add maybe 2/5 cup of cocoa powder. If you don't know what 2/5, it's like 1/4 plus maybe a tiny bit more, and a tiny bit of salt. And then we're gonna mix it all up. And you want to use an entire stick of butter, preferably melted, with a bit of vanilla extract. Just a good amount. So, eyeball it, think about what you think is good, but exact measurements will be in the description for all my recipe. And then after you mix in the liquids and the solids, or the dries, you want to stir it all together until all the liquids kind of combine with the thing. And I'm also adding extra sugar because I do love sugar. This time it's brown sugar because, it adds a nice flavor to it. And then after you add stuff, you want to mix it in. And also, I tried doing a little bit where I was going to cut myself with red food coloring in my hand, but it didn't really work because I ended up staining my hand a lot. So instead, you want to go pour in a good amount of red food coloring. And add more if you don't think it's dark enough. We're grabbing more sugar because, much like Don Quixote and Nicolina, they had to experiment with their recipe. So anyway, I'm going to mix in a lot more sugar. I don't know how much, I just poured in a good amount. And in goes 2 eggs. Why 2 eggs specifically? Well, it's because the way if you add more eggs, it becomes more different texture, and I want it to be like a hard brick, so that's why I'm only adding 2. We're gonna mix those things in, and when they're all mixed in, this is what your batter should kind of look like. And this is where we differ from manchaland. Cheeseland does not have infinite money to spend on eggs. They're expensive now, so 2 eggs. And now we're gonna get our little container of white gypsopsium. I killed this thing so much because I absolutely hate this thing. And so we're gonna add 3 cups of it. But if you don't get the joke or don't know what it is, it's 3 cups of flour. And just mix it all in. And so after you mix in all the flour, this is the type of consistency you want. It kind of looks like a paste, I know. Okay, so now we're going to set the oven to 350. Yes, I'm censoring my face because I'm not doing a face reveal yet. And then now we will mix in all of the stuff that we made at the start of the video. I actually added some walnuts and some white chocolates with all those strawberry mix because I think it'll help replicate the look of the hemobar better. You can add as much as you want. This filling is all optional, so please customize with it because I don't have an exact amount either. I kind of just used how much I felt was right. So now we're going to get a baking tray or baking pan, put some parchment paper to make sure the thing doesn't stick and for easy removal. You can use whatever shape pan you want. I used a thick, tall one, but if you're actually wanting to make these look like brownies and taste like brownies and not like a brick, I would suggest using a thinner pan and spread it out, not so it looks like a piece of bread. And so yeah, this is what it's mostly gonna look like right before it goes in the thing. I know. So now we're gonna toss that thing in there, let it cook out for maybe about 35 minutes if you're doing a thin one. I had to do mine for a whole hour because of how thick my pan was. Now I'm gonna let the real time me answer some Q&A questions while we
that
wait.
is cooking, I might as well answer a few questions. So remember that time I said I was going to do a Q&A for 3K? Yeah, well, I forgot, so here's now. So, when will I play LobCorp? Well, that's a good question. I will play it eventually when I feel like it and when I can actually stream it, so probably, in the summer maybe. Next. Do I breathe Don Quixote as oxygen? No, I breathe air, but I do like Don Quixote a lot. My favorite Limbus sinner? Ah, yes. The age-old question. Of course, it's the GOAT! Don Quixote and Heathcliff, my GOAT! Okay. My thoughts on fish. Yeah, I love fish. Food, of course. I think salmon is the best type, and raw and cooked. Which Don is my favorite? My favorite Don has to probably be Manager Don, because I really like Sancho. But I also like Sync Don because of the drip, and T-Corp because that's the closest thing we're going to get to a mech in Limbus Company, let's be honest. It's not one sinner, but it's multiple Dons, and you'll have to accept that answer, because I like a lot of them. And, okay. So that's all for Q&A. Looks like it's almost done. So, next time I do something like this, I'll make more.
So now that the thing is out of the oven, what you want to do is, get it out of the thing. Good thing we have the parchment paper, so it's really easy for me to take it out. But the bottom is a little stained, so what I'm going to do is I'm putting on some paper towel, then I'm going to put it on a cutting board. See, look, that's our hemobar. Looks very nice, am I right? All we need to do is grab our Chef Gregor knife and cut it up into pieces. And then we, take a bite. I think it's pretty good. So now we're cutting it up into pieces to make it look like an actual hemobar, which means getting rid of that top, leaving only the flat bottom, and boom. And there we have it, our hemobar. Now, I did a little spin around of it to show how fancy and cool it looks. I added some powdered sugar and a little bit of a strawberry glaze. There will be a, instruction manual in the description because I forgot to record it.
Whoa, it's a hemobar, right? So we're gonna try it out. The top one,
So, thank you for watching. This is the actual image of the hemobar that I made, and if you put it right next to an image of, the hemobar from manchaland, I think they look pretty similar. Not gonna lie, it was pretty dry, so if you make this recipe, I would suggest adding a lot more strawberries for the filling than you think you're gonna need, because this thing tasted really good when you actually got strawberry in it. Unfortunately, there wasn't that many strawberries, but otherwise, it was pretty good. Anyway, happy Valentine's Day, and thank you for 4K. I'll make something else like this when I hit 5K. Well, see you later. Gonna jump off a bridge now.